Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be doing an unboxing and taking a first look at the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Okay, so before I get started, I want to give a special thanks to the folks over at TCL for sending this phone over to unbox and review for y'all. I've already got all the seals cut, so I'm ready to unbox this thing. Let's go ahead and pull the top off here. And right on top, you will see, of course, the TCL 20 Pro 5G. We'll just go ahead and remove that for right now, and we'll just set it over here on top of this box. And we'll just see what and all else does come here in the box. So we got this here, which I'm guessing probably just houses some books and a case. So we do get a clear gel skin case here, which is really nice to see come with any phone to get you started. Also got your TCL 20 Pro 5G quick starting guide and all that kind of stuff there, and your SIM removal tool. Next up, we have the USB Type-C charging cable, which is USB-A to USB-C, and you have the TCL fast charging brick here in the box. So let me go ahead, get all this here cleaned up, and we'll look at the phone. Okay, so the phone is now in hand. You'll see TCL 20 Pro 5G. We'll go ahead and just remove it here from this plastic here, and wow, this is an amazing looking phone. This is the marine blue, and man, just the quality feel of this phone, how this phone looks and feels is awesome. Wow, this is really nice. So let's go ahead and right now just give it a boot up. See if it's got any juice here in the battery. And there we go, got a little vibration there. Got TCL, powered by Android, of course. So yeah, let me go ahead, get the phone all set up. We'll go through some specs, take you on the phone a little bit, and all that kind of good stuff. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so we're all set up now and ready to go. Now, I've actually went ahead and put in my Gmail account, downloaded all my applications and stuff like that on this phone, and have been using it here for a little bit. But I'm going to give you my first thoughts about this phone here in a little bit after I read you off the specs of this TCL. Now, first of all, the display. This has a 6.67-inch AMOLED display coming in at 1080 by 2400 with a 20 by 9 aspect ratio with 395 pixels per inch. As for the processor, it's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 750G, which is an octa-core processor with an Adreno 619 GPU, which means it's a good mid-range processing chip here in this phone. It also has 6 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage, and has an SD card slot to further expand that storage. So that's really nice. Now onto the cameras. You can see there's a quad camera setup. Now the main camera is a 48 megapixel wide lens with aperture of f1.8. It's got a 16 megapixel ultra wide lens with 123 degree field of view at aperture of f2.4. It's also got a macro and a depth sensor here on this phone as well. Now for the video, you can record at 4K at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. And for the front camera, we have a 32 megapixel wide angle lens with an aperture of f2.5. And the front can record at 4K 30, 1080p at 30 and 60. This phone has a 4500 milliamp hour non-removable battery with 18 watt fast charging and 15 watt fast wireless charging. Now this phone has pretty much every LTE band, going from 1 all the way to 71, so there's no shortage of the bands here on this phone. Now this has a glass front and a glass back. However, I'm not certain what kind of glass they're using on this phone. That's not clear here from what I'm seeing. And it also has some other features as well, like the fingerprint scanner, Bluetooth 5.1, dual band, AC, Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. And it does come in the marine blue and moon dust gray. And that there's the specs of the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Now it is nice that it came with this clear gel skin case. You just pop it on, show you what it looks like here. And this phone is pretty slick, so it's nice to have this little rubberized gel case here to put on the back of it. You can still see how nice this phone looks, but also have a little bit of protection, as well as for the fact that it makes it not so slippery to hold in the hand. But hopefully there'll be some other cases available for this phone here soon. Haven't really checked much about that yet, but look here at the back of the cameras. I like the fact that it has a flush design. There is no camera bump, so when you're laying it down, there is no wobble, nothing like that. So that's really nice to see here on this phone. Now here on the right side, of course, got your power button with a little red accent inside of there. Volume rocker, of course. On top, you got your 3.5mm headphone jack. You got an IR blaster and microphone. On the left side, you got this little key right here that can be remapped into 3 different things, which is pretty cool. And on the bottom, your bottom firing speaker, USB Type-C charging port, microphone, and here is your door for your SIM and SD card. Okay, and on the front, of course, is your receiver and your front-facing camera. Like I've already said, the phone's already been set up and ready to go, and the fingerprint scanner on this thing works very good. As you can see right there, I mean, it's very responsive, and it works every single time that I press it. Also, face unlock, as you can see right here, works very well. I mean, it's pretty fast, as you can see. No problems with that either. You can also use, your swipe pattern, PIN, password, and stuff like that. Now, looking here at the display, this display is very vibrant. It's very beautiful to look at. If you remember the TCL 10 Pro from last year, this screen looks just as good. I mean, it's a very nice looking display. Scroll up here. This phone is very fast, very fluid. I got loaded down with my apps and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, this phone just flows right along. No problem whatsoever with that 750G processor. I mean, it's just really smooth and good to go here. Now, for the display, we have a kind of a waterfall drop off here again like we did last year on the 10 Pro. And, I've not had any mishaps or nothing like that with this screen, which is good. And also the case helps it there as well. So I like more of a flat display, but this curve here is not too sharp and not too off the edge, I guess you would say. So it's not too awful bad. Now, pulling the drop down here, you just see your typical stuff, your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Just hit the important stuff here. You got an actual 5G button, turn that on or off. Next vision display, your flashlight, screen recorder, hotspot. You have NFC here on this phone as well as just your eye comfort, dark mode, casts, and all that kind of stuff here. So we're going to go into the settings just for a moment. I won't spend a whole lot of time here, but I do want to hit on a few things. Like I did say, it does have NFC. You can cast your screen. Has your Chromebook, printing, Android Auto, all that stuff here on this phone as well. Now down here, home screen and lock screen. You can press that for your wallpapers, your themes, your launcher, your home settings, but you can go in here and change your home screen grid, your home screen style for just a home or a home and app drawer, okay? And all of this here. You can turn the Google feed off. You can just, a lot of good stuff going on in here. Screen lock style, always on display. Raise to wake, pocket mode, which prevents accidental operations from being carried out on your phone when it's in your pocket or bag. So that's nice. Next vision display, here you go. Okay, next vision on this thing really does make a difference. Okay, I'll leave the next vision turned on because it just makes everything look a lot better, more vibrant. Also got a video and game enhancement. Now I have played Asphalt 9 on this phone, and honestly with this video and game enhancement, it did seem to oversaturate the game a little bit. But it's not too bad, and honestly it looks pretty good. It's just kind of oversaturates a little bit on some games. But down here at color mode and temperature, you got vivid, natural, standard, and advanced or adaptive tone, which auto adjusts color temperature according to the ambient light. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool stuff going on there. And of course, for if you're outside and it gets too bright, you got this right here that'll increase readability under sunlight. Now back out of here, we're gonna skip this and this and that. Button and gestures. Okay, so right now I got set to gestures. That's what I always use. But you do have your buttons here on the bottom for your back, home, and recents if you don't like gestures. So yeah, but just wanted to show you that there. And so we do have gestures here for flip to mute, 3-finger screenshot, split screen gesture, and double tap to wake. Okay, back out of that there. Got advanced features here for screen recorder, one-handed mode, stuff like that. Now here's Smart Manager. As you will see, right now it's scanning everything. We're at 99%. And for the battery, the battery, I've took a couple charges on it so far. And As you can see here, I'm at 84%. I got 142 hours left in normal saving mode and 185 left in super saving mode. And now I have not used this phone very much as far as a lot of content right now, but I have used it some enough to charge it like I think twice since I've actually had the phone, and battery seems to hold up very well here. So I will do my normal test on battery and stuff like that. But so okay, security and biometrics here. You got your PIN pattern password, your fingerprints, face unlock, and smart lock. And storage. Okay, with all of my apps installed, I still got plenty of storage left. Only 25 gigs I've used out of 256. I think it was around 7% used whenever I first pulled it out of the box. And I think it was like 11 or 12 gigabytes used. So you can see there, still got plenty of storage. And plus you got an SD card slot. So that's good. Now, digital well-being accessibility down here at system. It just pretty much gives you, TCL UI version, Android 11, battery, the model number, and stuff like that. So going back home here, the phone has just been a very good experience. Okay. I mean, it's just been good. All right, the TCL 10 series from last year was a very good series of phones, and they just improved it here with this one, okay? Now, is there any negatives that I got to say about this phone? Well, actually, so far, just one. And that is the fact that it only has one bottom firing speaker. Now, I don't understand why these phones does not have a stereo speaker setup, okay? I mean, cheaper phones, I think another TCL 20 series that's half this price has stereo speakers. And I thought this one did too. And then I was like, wow, really? So, I mean, if I had one thing to say about it negative right now, for me, it would be the lack of a stereo speaker setup. But the cameras, I hadn't really tested a whole lot, so I can't really comment on those. But for the gameplay, it's worked very well. I did run a Geekbench test. I'll go ahead and show you that right now. This was a test that I ran before I put everything on the phone. Got a single core score of 659 and a multi-core of 1970, which honestly is not bad. Respectable speeds here on this phone. I thought I'd go ahead and show you that there if I forget it again. But yeah, honestly, this phone has just been very good. Okay, overall, no problems, no issues, no freezing, no lags, no hangs. It's just been a really good phone. Now, dive into the camera here for just a moment before we get out of here. We're going to show you just some of the features this camera setup here does have. Now, here and more, you do have your panorama, stop motion, light trace, super macro, high pixel, slow motion, and short video. You got auto mode, video mode, portrait mode, super night mode, and of course you have the pro mode here as well. So right now, focus on the video, making sure that we are getting here. So we are able to record in 4K at 30 frames, 1080p at 30 and 60, 720 at 30 and 60 as well. So that's nice. And of course here's your storage button. If you put an SD card in here, move it to external, and yeah, save your internal storage, okay? And you got electronic image stabilization here on the rear camera as well. Now let's go to the front camera for a moment, and we will go here to the settings and look at the front video quality. And it's the same, 4K 30, 1080p 60 and 30, 720, 30 and 60 there as well. So I'll be testing out the cameras on this phone, but from what I've seen from the last year's model to this year's model, pretty close, if not a bit more improved. But yeah, that's just my first impressions and thoughts there of the TCL 20 Pro 5G. Great phone. Price is $499 right now, I think it is. And I'll leave a link down below somewhere in the description if you want to check one of these phones out. That'd be awesome. And again, thanks to TCL for sending this phone out to unbox and review. So, yeah, if it's helpful in the phone in any way, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new around here, consider subscribing and click that bell for notifications. Turn on all notifications. That'd be awesome. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.